What's up, everybody? Weston here with the Hidden Gibbon, back with another daily deck tech video, and once again, another viewer request. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 in the queue, including this one today. And if you like my content, or like the deck techs, the discussion video, my new focus on budget content, feel free to subscribe. You don't have to, only if you want to. And then also, if you want to see your commander made into a deck tech, drop it in the comments down below. I will add it to the ever-expanding queue. I absolutely have loved that since in a month, I have not done a single non-viewer request deck tech. That is amazing. I love doing this for people, so there you go. But without further ado, let's get into Gandalf, Westward, Voyager, shall we? So, we've got Gandalf here. He's the one from the pre-con. And he is a 5/5 for 5, so nothing to bulk at, you know? And then whenever you cast a spell with mana value 5 or greater, each opponent reveals the top card of their library. If any of those cards share a card type with that spell, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy, and each opponent draws a card. Otherwise, you draw a card. So, he has a very interesting and unique ability, right? You can copy your spells if they're 5 or greater, but then also your opponents do get a resource off of that, drawing. Otherwise, if it doesn't match, you get to draw. But what we want to do today is we want to copy our spells, and hope that copying our spells is strong enough that we don't really have to deal with the consequences of our opponents drawing a card. So, how are we going to do this today? Well, we got bigstuff.deck, okay? We've got ourselves starting off strong with, a Timmy of all Timmy creatures. We've got Apex Devastator in here. Cascade, 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 Cascade. It's a 10/10 for 10. What's really interesting is if you get to copy this, then the copied copy gets to have 4 Cascades as well, which will plop out the vast majority of your deck. We have Avenger of Zendikar, obviously a classic card for 7/5/5. We do have ramp on this deck, friends, so you see all these big high mana cost things. We do have ourselves some ramp to make sure that we don't just fizzle. But when this creature enters, create a 1/1 or 0/1 green plant, landfall whenever for each land you control, and whenever land enters, you put a 1/1 counter on each plant you control. Yep, that's pretty strong. We got ourselves Disciple of Freyalise, an MDFC. So when Disciple of Freyalise enters the battlefield, you can sacrifice another creature. If you do, you gain X life, draw X cards, where X is that creature's power. Friends, I'm going to tell you, there's nothing quite as fun as sacrificing your Apex Devastator that trips over elves to your Disciple of Freyalise to draw 10 cards. And, if you get to copy it, oh, buddy, you get to sack 2 big things. And then we have Garden of Freyalise. When it enters, you can pay 3 to have it enter untapped. 3 life, that is. Otherwise, it enters tapped and taps for green. So we do have another outlet for a land there. Endray's Forerunners, of course, is Craterhoof Behemoth we have at home. If Vigilance, Haste, Trample, when it enters, other creatures you control get +2/+2, Vigilance, and Trample until end of turn. We've got the Hornet Queen, a classic card, flying and Death Touch, and when the Hornet Queen enters the battlefield, create 4 1/1 green insect creature tokens with flying and Death Touch. Copying this is also pretty fun, because then you get a million of those little dudes. We have a Modi. This is going to be fun too, because then, spells you cast with mana value 6 or greater have Cascade. It's a good fit in here because so many of our things are large mana costs, right? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 right off the bat. Pretty strong. We have Meteor Golem. When it enters, destroy target non-land permanent. Great idea to copy this. Also, this Final Fantasy art is cool. I don't know what it's from, but it's cool. We have Mole Drifter and Null Drifter in here to give us some draws, right? Null Drifter, of course, is just Eldrazi Mole Drifter that has Annihilator 1. It also has a cleaner text box, whereas this has the reminder text for Evoke. We have Naya Stout Beast. It's Trample, and when you cast it, each player reveals the top card of his or her library. Pretty fun. And then Naya Soul Beast enters the battlefield with X 1/1 counters on it, where X is the total converted mana cost of all cards revealed this way. Man, this card actually scales really well with the lower power bracket that you play at, right? Because at higher power, a lot of people have lower mana cost cards that are super efficient, and then at, say, bracket 2 or even lower bracket 3, lots of people are playing big chungus things, and so this could come in with a massive amount of counters. Can you just imagine if they revealed like an Apex Devastator? We do have 2 of the Overlords in here. Overlord of the Flood Pits. It has Impending 4. I don't like casting things for their Impending cost, to be honest with you. I just straight cast them. I don't like the 4-turn delay. You could be dead by then. Flying, and when Overlord of the Flood Pits enters or attacks, you draw 2, discard 1. So it's like a super loop. And then Overlord of the Hauntwoods, which is a ramp spell, Impending 4. Again, I don't like going for the Impending cost. Whenever Overlord of the Hauntwoods enters or attacks, create a tapped colorless land token named Everywhere that is every basic land type. Everything Everywhere all at once. By the way, that is a good movie. Watch it. Peregrine Drake, when it enters, untap up to 5 lands. This is pretty cool. If you tap out for a whole bunch of stuff and then get to copy this, you get 2 of them, which untaps the 5 lands for the first Peregrine Drake, and then untaps 5 more lands. Quandrix the Proof, Flying, Cascade, instant sorcery spells you cast from your hand have Cascade. We have Radagast, Wizard of Wilds, Ward 1. Beasts and birds you control have Ward 1. Whenever you cast a spell with mana value 5 or greater, choose 1, make a bird or beast. He's also from the precon. I slotted it in mainly because he gets so much like generic value off of casting your big chungus things. We have Rashmi, Eternity's Crafter, a 2/3 for 4. Whenever you cast your first spell each turn, reveal the top card of your library. You may cast it without paying its mana cost if it's a spell with lesser mana value. So say you cast your Apex Devastator, this trigger goes on the stack, and you reveal, we're going to say, Disciple of Frailise or Hornet Queen, or anything really, Meteor Golem, you'll get to cast it from the top of your library. If you don't cast it, put it into your hand. We have Starwinder. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you may draw that many cards. This card is sick technology, friends. It's very good. Terastodon, you get to blow up 3 non-creature permanents. That does include lands. For each permanent put into a graveyard this way, its controller makes an Elefante. We have Thunderous Snapper. Whenever you cast a creature spell with converted mana cost 5 or greater, draw a card. Troyan, Gutsy Explorer, 1/3 for 3. Add green and blue. Spend only to cast spells with mana value 5 or greater, or X in their mana cost. Draw a card, then discard a card. Wistfulness, you get to evoke this. If double green was paid to cast it, exile target artifact or enchantment, and if double blue was spent to cast it, you draw 2 cards, then discard a card. So you could actually do double blue and double green if you wanted to do the main cost, but evoking is pretty cheap. And also the evoking gets this here, so you could copy it. Wizen Snitches, flying, and players with the top card of their library play with the top card of their library revealed. This is really good because this is going to let us see what our opponents have, and so you can kind of synergize well with what you are casting, right? Then for our sorceries, we've got a big amount here. I went heavy into sorceries over instancy. We only have 10 instants. We have 21 sorceries. Aether Gale, return 6 non-land permanents to their owner's hand. This is going to be a very effective bounce spell. We for our ramp, we have Cultivate, Farseek, Kodama's Reach, Rampant Growth, Open the Way, Hour of Promise. We, in a way, kind of mind into matter, draw X cards, and may put a permanent card with mana value X or less in from your hand onto the battlefield. This also goes really well with Quandrix. We have Curse of Swine, goes with Quandrix. Also, X spells converted mana costs are whatever you pay for them. This is really cool also with Open the Way. So say somebody say you pay Open the Way for 6, somebody has a sorcery on the top, you get to copy it and then get more lands. We have Echo Casting Symposium. Target player creates a token that's a copy of target creature you control. So be careful about fork effects, but you get to copy your stuff. Zuri's Predation. For each creature your opponents control, create a 4/4 green Phyrexian Beast creature token. Each of those tokens fights a different one of those creatures. Germination Practicum, put 2/1/1 counters on each creature you control with Paradigm. Paradigm, for these spells, once you cast it once, then it copies itself during every upkeep. Or, sorry, main phase. First main phase. My bad. Last March of the Ents. Can't be countered. Draw cards equal to the greatest toughness amongst creatures you control. Then put any number of creature cards from your hand onto the battlefield. This card's really good, especially if you get to copy it. Lorien Revealed, draw 3 cards. You can also island cycle this if you are running short on lands. Overwhelming Stampede. Creatures get +X/+X, where X is the greatest power amongst creatures you control. Rishkar's Expertise, you draw a bunch of cards equal to power, and then you can play you may cast a spell with mana cost 5 or less from your hand without paying its mana cost. River's Rebuke bounces all non-land permanents target player controls to their owner's hand. It's cheap Cyclonic Rift, friends. And if you copy it, you can hit 2 players. Sky Shroud Claim, again in here for ramp. Spitting Image creates a copy, and you can retrace, which discards you a land to do it. Traverse the Outland, search your library for X basic land cards, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. Urban Evolution, draw 3, play an extra land. Instance. We have Entish Restoration in here, which is sack a land, search your library for 2 basics. If you control a creature power 4 or greater, you get to search for 3 basics and put them into the play tapped. Harrow, sack a land, get 2 lands, put them into play, not tapped. Growth Spiral, draw a card, put an extra land. Jaheira's Respite is a fog that you get to search your library for X basic lands, where X is the number of creatures attacking you. Put those creature cards onto the battlefield tapped and prevent all combat damage. We have Aether Spouts for each attacking creature its owner puts on the top or bottom of their library. Elminster's Simulacrum. For each opponent, you create a token that's a copy of up to 1 target creature that player controls. Forceful Denial has Cascade and counter a spell. It is the one of the 2 counter spells that I put in here simply because it does meet the 5 cost requirement and does some extra value. Both of them, this one cascades and this one discovers. This one only hits an artifact or creature spell, and then you discover X, where X is that mana value. We do have Sublime Epiphany, which also counters, but like I said, also has this other value in here, where you can counter a triggered ability, return a non-land permanent to its owner's hand, create a token copy of a creature you control, or draw a card. And we have Nature's Reclamation, destroy target artifact or enchantment with Cascade. Artifacts. We are only running 3. Whisper Silk Cloak, so that way some of our big stuff can't be blocked. Swiftfoot Boots, so that way we can protect our Gandalf. And Lantern of Insight, which makes it so each player plays with the top card of his or her library revealed. And you can tap it and sack it. Target player shuffles his or her library. Enchantments. We have Field of Dreams. This constitutes nearly half the cost of the deck, but this is not where you play baseball with spooky ghosts. Fun fact for you, the Field of Dreams is about 45 minutes-ish to my east. I've been there a couple times. When my old boss Bernie played a baseball game there, was there for that event. But the top card of each player's library is always face up. So it's kind of like Lantern of Insight. Up the Beanstalk, when it enters, if you cast, when it enters and when you cast a spell of 5 or greater, draw a card. Omniscience, you get to play everything for free. We have one with a multiverse. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. You can play lands and cast spells from the top of your library. Once during each of your turns, you may cast a spell from your hand or top of your library without paying its mana cost. And Storm of Saruman. Ward 3 for 6. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, copy it, except the copy isn't legendary. You may choose new targets for the copy, which is pretty awesome because we have all of this stuff up here that we can already copy and do fun things that way. Lands. We are running 38 lands plus our MDFC up top, so I guess 39 if you really want to look at it that way. We are running 13 forests. We are running 13 islands, 12 islands. Command Tower, some generic value here. Simic Growth Chamber, Reliquary Tower, Alchemist Refuge. It lets you cast a spells that had flash, and see the budget fetches and stuff in there. But that is the build. Let's go over and see some opening hands, and hopefully this won't be like yesterday where I randomly, despite running 38 lands, could not draw one to save my life. Let's take a look, shall we? Well, let's take a look and zoom out by 1. So we're starting with 2 lands and no ramp. This is going to be rough, But the ocean favors the bold. We're going to draw a card. We're going to play our forest. This is not great. The same thing is happening again. Well, you know what? Ocean favors the bold. We draw off of that. Look at that. We are rewarded for our hubris. All right. We don't have a blue source. So this is going to be a little rough here, right? Let us... You know what? We're just going to cast this for 1. And we're going to put this island into play. Sometimes you got to struggle. Next turn. So now we have Myriad Landscape. It enters tapped. We'll put our up to Beanstalk over here. We do have 4 lands now. We are in a better position. So we are going to cast our Thunderous Snapper. So this right here is going to be whenever you cast a spell with converted mana cost of 5 or greater, we draw a card. Next turn, Alchemist Refuge is going to come into play. So we can either pop our Myriad Landscape and ramp this turn, or what I'm actually going to do is tap for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to cast Hour of Promise. We cast a spell with converted mana cost of 5 or greater, so we draw a card there and here, so we draw 2. And then we get to search our library for 2 land cards and put them onto the battlefield tapped. Notice that this says land cards. So what we are going to do is we are going to, you know what? We're going to grab our command tower. And then let's grab our Hinterland Harbor and close and shuffle. So those are tapped. So now we're in business, right? With our remaining mana, we are going to play Lantern of Insight. Now, on our next turn, we are going to go... We are going to cast our Gandalf. Gandalf is going to net us 2 cards. That's a lot of cards. We have 3 mana available. We are going to play our island. This gets us down to 3, 6, 7, 8 cards in hand. We can Farseek this turn, but I'm not going to Farseek. I'm okay with discarding the Farseek because we are going to pitch the Myriad Landscape, and we are going to grab a forest and an island. Close and shuffle. Let's come into play tapped. Let's organize these a little better, shall we? Yes. Yeah, there we go. So we have our lands a little bit better. Right now we have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We can cast Apex Devastator next turn, friends. So we go to our next turn. We have all of this stuff in play. We just have so much of it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cast Apex Devastator. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So then we have our cast trigger go off, okay? Cast trigger. I'm going to have Up the Beanstalk and Thunderous Snapper go off after the other trigger. So first Gandalf triggers. We're going to get a copy of Apex Devastator. It is not cast, so, you know, we get just another Apex Devastator. Yep. And so then each opponent gets to draw a card. So we're going to have an extra Apex Devastator. Again, this does not Cascade. I misspoke earlier. My apologies, friends. And now we get to do the Cascade. So let's view our library. We get Cascade. So Echoing Symposium. We will cast that one. 2... Overlord of the Hauntwoods, we'll cast that one. This goes on the bottom. Storm of Saruman. And Overwhelming Stampede. So, close, and then this goes to the bottom of the library. So, these will all come in. And allows you to cast all of these. So, we get an Everywhere token. So many lands. An Everywhere token. We have Storm of Saruman coming into play. And Overwhelming Stampede. So we had the token copy hit play first, so this will go in. These two plus this will all get +10/+10. This goes off. We are going to create a token that's a copy of you know, Thunderous Snapper, fine. We draw our 2 cards off of Up the Beanstalk and Thunderous Snapper. You see what we can do. But that's the deck. It can do degenerate things. Just bear in mind, like, this is gold fishing, so it doesn't account for disruption. As always, I am Western with the Hidden Gibbon. Once again, if you like the deck techs, if you like what I do over here, feel free to subscribe. I really have been enjoying the amount of viewer requests I've been doing. It is actually my favorite thing to do, and I love, like, how kind and just welcoming everyone is over here in the comments and in the community of the Hidden Gibbon. That is what I want. I want a community that welcomes everybody, and especially newer folks or folks who have felt left out in Magic the Gathering. I want them to be able to come here. Newer folks who have been here for 20, 30 years, you know, everybody. But I'm Weston with the Hidden Gibbon, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. What's up,